Assalamualaikum and good morning, Dr. Harwati. My name is Norlisa. So today I'm going to present about the memory strategies, which is included in the taxonomies of language learning strategies by Oxford 1990. So first of all, according to Oxford 1990, learning strategies are divided into two. The first one is direct strategies, which consist of the memory strategies, cognitive strategies, and compensation strategies. The second one is the indirect strategies, which include the metacognitive strategies, affective strategies, and social strategies. So as you can see there, I've highlighted the memory strategies, which is a part of the direct strategies. So it will be the one that I will be focusing on today. So moving on. What are direct strategies? Direct strategies involve directly involve the target language. It requires a mental processing of the language, and the three groups which I mentioned earlier, which are memory, cognitive, and compensation, do the processing differently and for different purposes. What are memory strategies? Memory strategies help students to store and to retrieve information, meaning that, when they learn a language, they are able to store it and then they are also to retrieve it for later. So there are four parts of memory strategies. The first is creating mental linkages. The second is applying images and sounds. The third one is reviewing well, and the fourth one is employing action. The first one, I will now explain on the first one, which is creating mental linkages. So the first one, the first explanation of this part is classifying or reclassifying what is heard or read. So the grouping involves classifying or reclassifying what is heard or read into meaningful group, thus reducing the number of unrelated elements. For example, a student is learning English, so he writes down in his notebook the new words that he hears, and he may categorize them grammatically. The second one is associating new language information with familiar concepts. So this includes the familiar concepts that are already in their memory. So the student is able to associate the new language information with familiar concepts that are already in their memory. The third one is placing new words into context, including spoken or written sentence. Alright, so this includes placing the new words or expressions that the students have heard or read into a meaningful context, such as the spoken or written sentence. It is a way of remembering it. For example, a student encounters a list of words related to sewing, such as hook, button, thread, and needle, and he writes a little story to put these words into meaningful context. So these three elements explain the part of creating mental linkages in the memory strategies. I'll move on to the next one. The next one is applying images and sound. The first one is using imagery. Using imagery is a good way to remember what has been heard or read in the new language to create a mental image of it. So in this way, the students will remember about what they have learned easier. The second one is using keywords. This strategy combines the sound and images, so learners can easily remember what they have heard or read in the new language. The third one is representing sounds in memory. This strategy helps learners remember what they hear by making auditory rather than visual representations of the sounds. So moving on to the third one, which is reviewing well. It entails reviewing at different intervals. At first close together and then increasingly far apart. The last one. The last part of the memory strategy is employing action, which is divided into two. The first one is using physical response or sensation. This strategy may involve physically acting out a new expression that has been heard. Okay, the second one is using mechanical techniques. Okay, this is to remember what has been heard or read. Okay, and then mechanical techniques are sometimes useful. For example, flashcards with new words written on one side and the definition written on the other side. Okay, so that's all about memory strategies that I will present for today. Thank you for listening, and I hope that you gain new information from my presentation. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you very much.